Hi, everyone. This is me, Sailor Moon, Serena here, doing a YouTube live stream. Now, I know I didn't set any time, and I didn't know I was going to be in the mood around, 6 o'clock going into 6:30 in the evening to do a live stream. Now, I know some folks, they set their times when they're going to do their live stream, but I never do that. And even if I did set it, I don't really think I would get, really don't know if I'd get anyone watching my live streams or not. All right. So you might wonder, why do I do live streams? I don't know. I guess to, I don't know. I guess to do something, because when you make an upload, you can't really reach out to your followers. I mean, you kind of can, but you really cannot. And I just got in the mood to want to do a live stream. Now, I know some folks out there might not come on because they didn't know I was going to do a live stream about 6 o'clock now, 6:30 in the evening. So it might be a bad time for them. And I know I'm not well known in the Sailor Moon followership, that I'm not, iffened or whatever, and my uploads and lives might not be glee to everyone, but at the end of the day, I still like them, and that's good enough for me. So today, we're going to talk about what we say and do in our YouTube live stream, what we do on YouPole or YouSide or whatever you want to call it, since tube's a French borrowed word. I guess the English word would be hole or way. Would it make us the black sheep of the Sailor Moon followership? Now, some folks might think being a black sheep would be a bad thing. I guess it depends. It has to do with what you think someone being a black sheep is. Well, first off, I don't do everything the same way all the other Sailor Moon followers do. Like, Dwayne, his take on Sailor Moon might not be the same as everyone else's take on it. You know, and he, at the end of the day, he tends to like the Deacon Cloverway Sailor Moon more than the Viz one. Because when he thinks of Sailor Moon, those are the ones he thinks of. And I know that one of the first ways for you to be in the outs in the Sailor Moon followership is to say, hey, you like the Deacon Cloverway Sailor Moon work. That's the first thing. If you say you're into that one, that's the first one, and most diehard Sailor Moon followers need or need not want to have anything to do with you at that time. Two, if you're playing with dolls. And let's be earnest about that. A lot of folks like to shame and guilt and scathe anyone who plays with dolls. They say, oh, it's sinful, it's unlawful, it's childish. Oh, you don't see anyone else doing it. There's nothing wrong with playing with dolls. Some folks think it's wrong, but there's nothing wrong with it. you know, Dolls are not only for, babies or walkers or kids or tweeners, they're for grown-ups too. All right? And Dwayne had to deal with a lot of trolls and haters over the years that would either guilt him or shame him or or scathe him for playing with dolls. They'd be like, "Oh, well, don't you know you're grown up? Don't you know you should be doing this and that? Oh, you're lazy." Whatever. I don't really care. Now, that I like to think that being in the Sailor Moon followership, or at least that's what I call it, I don't know what anybody else calls it, comes with your ups and downs. One, if you're not some big time doll gatherer like some of these Sailor Moon followers are, and they got every single doll ever made, and they got every shirt ever made, and they got every book ever written and drawn, and they got every film and drawing show ever drawing, and they know everything about it, you know, and you know, if you're not one of them, then you're not going to really be seen as big. But I don't really care, because my goal was never to come on YouTube and be as big as them. I can never whenever the thing. So, yeah. And as of right now, I only have one watcher, one seer, one onlooker. I don't know. He or she keeps leaving. I don't know if it's them or the website's doing it or whatever. I don't care. That's not going to irk me. I'm going to make this live stream, and if I get folks watching it, great. If I don't, I don't. It is what it is. So anyway, with it goes, oh, yield, I not late. I'm the first here. Oh, sorry, I late. No, you're not late. You're in time. I just started my live stream around, around 6:29. Now it's about 6:35. So no, you're not late, Sailor Moon. You're on time. Sweet. Well, first off, we're both in the Sailor Moon followership. Now, at the end of the day, Dwayne isn't going to say that, isn't saying he's one of them. He's not one of the beloved or one of the well-known Sailor Moon followers out there. Most of the time, it's really not like that. But, at the end of the day, Dwayne's love for Sailor Moon is probably as good or as anyone else's. It's true he doesn't got every single Sailor Moon doll ever made, and he doesn't have every Sailor Moon shirt ever made, or every drawing show or drawing film ever made, and every book ever written or drawn. And need be, he likes the Deacon Cloverway Sailor Moon more, in the Viz one. But at the end of the day, that doesn't make him any less a Sailor Moon follower or lover, whatever you want to call it. Hello. It said, yeah, hello. So anyway, yeah. A lot of folks always want to know. They always want to ask me things. They're like, well, Sailor Moon, Serena, are you still a ditz and a klutz and a sob baby and a meatball head? Haven't you grown up since then? Oh, yeah, I've grown up since then, But sometimes I still am a klutz and a ditz and a sob baby. It is what it is, And I want to ask any of you folks out here what your take is. Being in a Sailor Moon followership, which some of us are and some of us are not. It is what it is. So it's funny, I got Sailor Moon talking with Sailor Moon. Now, Sailor Moon and anyone else can answer this one. You might wonder, why don't I ever write any too many things on my followership board, on my fairway? 1, no one reads them. 2, no one writes anything on them. And 3, no one says anything about them. Some of my films and some of my uploads and lives get some watch time, some don't. So that's why I don't write nothing on there, because no one really cares. Hi. It goes, no one really cares. Now, a long time ago, when I was, and this was years ago, when I was first on YouTube, and I had many Sailor Moon fairways in the past. This isn't the first one. First, there was Sailor Moon Red, then Sailor Moon Red 1, Sailor Moon's Best 1, Sailor Moon's Best 2, Sailor Moon on YouTube, Sailor Moon YouTube misspell you, and then Sailor Moon Red 1, 2, 3, 4 before Sailor Moon Tube 11, which I called Sailor Moon for Life. And there was a time where I was the shit. And that is no longer true anymore. Now, it's true. I might not have, it's true. Well, that's their thought and belief that I'm no longer the shit anymore. And they might believe that I'm boring or whatever. That's their thought and that's their belief. They got no truth to it. And I'm sorry if this take on Sailor Moon isn't the take everybody else wants. You know? So I got two folks watching, and there's no way to know if it's Sailor Moon or it's someone called Video Game 56 or whatever, drawing game, film game 56, or this other fellow. There's no way to know. You know? It goes, hello, everyone, I back. So here's something that only Sailor Moon can answer if Sailor Moon's asking. It's funny. All right. So you have Sailor Moon dolls that, you got Sailor Moon dolls once. And, Dwayne's been doing this for some time. So, yeah. I would think it would have been cool if you would have made some film with your dolls and then we would make a film back. It'd be like these roundover films, And I know that's I know that it's probably not going to work out because we live in unlike Reichs. You live in Texas Reich and he lives in Pennsylvania Reich. Two unlike Reichs, two time steads, and all kinds of things. But if you make a film and I make a film, it looks like we're going back and forth. And Dwayne's got to take his sleep help now around this time, so we'll be right back. Oh, we need to take two. Yeah. There we go. Yeah, I take sleep help these days because ever since 2021, I can't get to sleep without sleep help. Anyway, it goes, I have been a follower of your work since 2008 while back to Sailor Moon Red. I Sailor Moon 2. I do share Serena's birthday in true life. Yeah, you do share my birthday in true life. That's one thing that me and this Usagi that everybody keeps talking about have one thing the same. Oh, we both shapeshift into Sailor Moon. We both have, friends that either look the same way or talk the same way. We got friends that almost the same names in some way. But the one thing that we do got the same is, that we both got the same birthday. Now, Usagi or Sailor Moon, I can't speak about you and Monaru. I don't even know who this Monaru fellow is, but I can speak about me and Darien. See, me and Darien are Tuxedo Mask or Evening Coat Hide. Yeah, you keep talking about having nightmares, about him being brainwashed. Well, I went through that too myself. But I got to keep in mind, that was brainwashing. That wasn't truly his doing or his behavior. So I know at the end of the day, Darien or Tuxedo Mask or whatever you want to call it, whatever I call him, loves me. I can't speak about you and Monaru. I can't. But the one thing I can speak about, that's what I can speak about. It goes, hello. It said, I also like the Fairway, and it's been going for weeks. So my birthday is an awesome film too. Well, thank you. Sorry for my burp. So anyway, now I'm going to get into the ground. Now, I talked about this before. Everybody be like, well, Sailor Moon, Serena, why don't you put anything on your followership board on your Fairway? Because no one cares about it. It's true. I put something there. No one cares about it. They don't write nothing. They don't like it. They don't hate it. They just don't care about it. So that's why I don't put things on there. Now, other folks do it, and that's their own business. But I don't do it because no one likes it. So then sometimes I think, hey, I'll just offshoot from something someone else did and think it'll work. No, it doesn't work. Now, some of my film, some of my uploads, and some of my lives do get some good watch time. Not all of them. Some of them do. Most of them don't do very well. It goes, what happened to Sailor Moon Red? Oh, what happened to Sailor Moon Red? It got hacked. back in 2010 YL. That's what happened to it. Well, thank you. Thank you, Usagi. We both are going to have our birthdays together. That's what happened to it. Sailor Moon Red 1, Sailor Moon's Best 1, Sailor Moon's Best 2, Sailor Moon on YouTube, Sailor Moon Red 1, 2, 3, 4 were fake flagged. Sailor Moon Red was hacked back in 2010 YL. Sailor Moon Forever. Hi. Now hello everyone. Yeah, we're both speaking for each other. Now we're going to go into something that some folks out there might wonder. So you're like, yeah, I already talked about that. It said, hello, I back. It said, now, it's true. That's why I don't, getting back to what I said, that's why I don't put any. Now, some folks out there are going to make a big deal over my name or what drawing show they should watch. You know, if it's the Deke or Clover Way, is it Viz? Now, whatever Sailor Moon you choose to watch is your own business. All right? This whole fighting over what my name is, you know, oh, it's Usagi, it's Serena, it's Victoria. Well, let me just tell you, it has to do with whatever offshoot you're watching. If you're watching Deke Clover Way, then my name is Serena, which my YouTube Fairlay takes a lot of freedoms from. If you're watching Viz or Toei, my name's Usagi. If you're watching the Toon Makers, Renaissance Atlantic Entertainment one, then my name is Victoria. You want to know what my full name is in the Deke and Cloverway world? Serena Victoria Campbell. And that's in the Deke world. In the Cloverway world, my name is Serena Usagi Sakino. You happy now? How's everyone doing? We're doing great. You know, we're doing wonderful. But sometimes I do feel like no one cares about my YouTube fairway, or at least they, that much. Like there was a time where, that's what I believe, but not anymore. But I do think that if I go on and write something on my followership board, it'll be like, oh, no one cares about my followership board. If I make an upload or a live, some will watch it, some will not. I have no running lead over that. And I used to always think that everybody else was more greater than me when it came to my work. So once we had Sailor Moon Jacob, he's gone now. It said good to know. We got Sailor Moon Jacob, who was once on YouTube. He's gone now. And then you have someone else calling herself Tina something Warrior, who does Squeeze Dolls films, Squeeze Dolls from other drawing shows besides mine. Before Sailor Moon Jacob, before her, there was no one else doing it besides me. Now, at the end of the day, a lot of folks out there, like to say all kinds of things. So, I don't know where I'm hitting at here. It goes, anyway, I can tell you back saga on the Kaiser Christendom Hearst. It's what you call unfamiliar with that. The Kaiserdom Silverhurst is my crescent moon wand. It's my round moon stick. And the crescent moon and the Kaiserdom Silverhurst is the thing that's on my stick, which is the strong thing. Not the staff or stick itself, but the Hearst on it. That's what I'm calling. If anyone who's ever watched Sailor Moon knows that that's what it is. I mean, I could go show it off to you right now. The little toy one that, But here's the thing. You know how I can't make the same kind of films that everybody else makes. And at the end of the day, I was thinking that Sailor Moon the other Sailor Moon that's on here right now, if he's still on here or not. He has Sailor Moon dolls. I don't know if he's ever going to do anything like what we do here. But I've been thinking if he makes a film, something to do with us, then we make a film back. That would be cool if we did. But I don't think he's going to do that because a lot of folks aren't bold enough to do it. You know, there are very few folks who are bold enough to do this kind of thing. So, yeah. It goes, all right, it goes, good stream film, Sailor Moon. I give it up. I give it that. All right, so now we're going to go into something else here in the Sailor Moon followership that I need to warn you all. Don't take this the wrong way. So you know how I made films talking about what folks, bitched about in my drawing show, the Chloe one, how they started saying things like, well, the things they would bitch about, and we know the things that they bitched about. You know what? They talk about why the things they like to bitch about is like, they unstraight. They do. That's one thing they bitched about, but not the way you would think. They would bitch about the unstraight and go, why did Zoisite have to become a woman? Well, in the Germis offshoot, Zoisite's a woman too. Why? Because there were a lot of folks back in the day who felt that any self that was unstraight in a film or a show or a play, that is wrong. And if it was for children, it was doubly wrong in their eyes. So DiC had to shift Zoisite and make her a woman. Cloverway had to make Sarah Uranus and Sailor Neptune near kin. And a lot of folks, will take it the way they want to take it. There's going to be folks in the straight followership and the unstraight followership who are going to take it the way they want. They're going to take it. But I don't think anyone was shamed or guilted or handled in the wrong way. All right? And to say that Sailor Moon was the first show to ever have anyone who was unstraight in it, I don't know. For a drawing show, I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine. A lot of folks seem to think that they think, oh, Fishshot, no. Because after watching the Cloverway and Viz take, Fisheye has been a woman in every offshoot that I know of. So that's what I wanted to warn folks about. Because there are some folks out there who think you can't talk about these things. They think, and this is just their belief, there's no way to show it to be true, they think that you can't talk about this. They think there are some folks out there who think if you talk about this or if you say something that goes against whatever someone believes, they think that you will make them angry and that they will come at you. Well, first off, I don't really have to worry about that. First off, because everything I said, I don't mean to shame or guilt anyone. So if anyone took that the wrong way, then I didn't mean for it to come out that way. See, I got a lot of onlook for straight and unstraight folk. But I'm just telling you why DiC and Cloverway had to do what they had to do back in the day. And a lot of folks might say, oh, why did Viz not have to do it? Because by the time Viz got the rights to work with everything, all those folks that DiC and Cloverway had to deal with were either gone, shifted their mindset or stand, or whatever. So, yeah. Yeah. I know that sometimes I might not be the most glee, fellow here on the website. And I notice some folks might not like my work. Some do, some don't. It is what it is. And some folks might say all kinds of things. Now, you want to know whatever the thing looks like? Oh, shit, no. Oh, forget it. Oh, it says, oh, what's up, everyone? You came back again. I didn't think that you would come back to this YouTube live stream. Who else wants to be an overseer of my YouTube live stream? All right. If I make anyone else wants to be an overseer of my shout out box, here's the thing. One, you're going to have to handle who's going to be hushed and locked and put on timeout or flagged. Two, things that you need to look out for. Anyone doing any hate speech, anyone bullying or trolling anyone, you get it. Those are only oversights I'm putting out there. So if anybody else wants to uphold any of those oversights on top of upholding the YouTube followership oversights and the YouTube website oversights, which I guess, then who wants to be the next overseer of my shout out box? It says, anyway, it goes, do you think worship, it was done well in Sailor Moon? Well, it depends on which Sailor Moon you're talking about. If you're talking about the Deacon Cloverway Sailor Moon, yeah, I think it was handled well. You know, the two worships that come up in Sailor Moon's world tend to be Christendom and Sintonism. Now, Sintonism seems to show up a lot because Rei, being a holy woman, and her grandfather, being a holy man, that run a Sintudis or Sintudum worship house. Molly goes to see a holy man after Nephlake dies to talk with him before Zoisite ends up, learning about that he's got a rainbow hearse and a fiend that takes over him. But then after God and Jesus working through me casts it out of him, that Luthred take over him, he goes, fighting is the evil thing. We must do all to clean it from our lives. Now, Tiger's Eye goes after a holy woman because he thinks the winged horse might be in her dreams. Now, how that was handled in Cloverway and how it was handled by Deke was one way. Now, Viz, they may have shifted out the words, but I think worship was handled well. I don't think that anyone really had anything to worry about. For a show that folks said that worship had nothing to do with, well, I think worship was handled well. Everyone always acts as like, well, why did, and folks say, well, what did the holy man say at the end when God and Jesus working for me casted out the fiend and took over him? Lucifer had to take over him in the Viz one. Do you believe in God? So do I do. Go to your fellow man, your fellow woman. When Tiger's Eye went after the holy woman in the Viz one, he made something about you should love thou's neighbors and if they're a sinner or not. And then and then said, oh, I guess God and Jesus aren't listening to you because they can't help you right now from the bind you're in. Which was some kind of really mean thing to say. But at the end of the day, it was God and Jesus who ended up giving Tiger's Eye, Hawk's Eye, and Fish Eye new life and made them man-like, woman-like. because their dreams were they wanted to be man-like, woman-like, and when they died, God and Jesus gave them life again, and they got to be man-like and woman-like. You know, so I think worship was handled well. Now I can't speak for everybody else's worship in the Salem Moon world, but I know I was Christendom. I was. They're like, well, if that's true, why'd you all? They're like, that's true. Then why you didn't talk about that much? Because it didn't come up all the time, and I didn't always talk about my worship all the time, but it did. And you see, Deacon Cloverway always had to say, well, she's wearing a moon necklace. No big deal. We don't have to worry about that now. If that was a round, we might have to worry. It said, what do I think about Donkey Kong? I don't know what I think about Donkey Kong. I guess he's all right. So, anyway, yeah, I think worship was handled well in Salem Moon, or at least as well as Deacon Cloverway and Viz and Toei could handle it. Now, a lot of folks are going to say, oh, wasn't Naiko Takeuchi, wasn't she a Buddhist or Buddha? Wasn't she a Buddhist or a Buddhism? Yes, she was. That was her worship. Now, a lot of folks I'm not going to get into this big thing if Buddhism or Buddhism is a worship or not. You know, I'm not going to get into it if it is a worship or not. You know, but yeah, she was. But that didn't mean that she was open-minded to other worships, and that's the grounds to why we had the worships we had in Salem Moon. There's a whole bunch of worships in Salem Moon's world, but the two main ones, Christendom and Shintoism or Shintoism, tend to be the two main ones. Now, some sad things that came out in my show was that if you ever watched the Toei or Viz one, you would know there was a lot of body shaming, bullying going on, not only by Ray, Salem Mars, not only by Luna, but also by my mother and father. Now, Deacon Cloverway toned it down a bit, but in the Toei and Viz one, it was out there. You know? And a lot of folks always said, well, that's how all kin slept. Well, no. If my mother and father in the Deacon Cloverway world were named after Naiko Takeuchi's mother and father, and my brother Samuel was named after her, then I don't want to think that's how it was. They didn't behave, let's see, everywhere else they didn't behave like that. But there they did. And it shifted out that I had a learning hang up all those years. But they didn't want to take the time to help me. It was, oh, Serena, you're not working hard enough. Or this and that. You know? And then there's a lot of gaslighting going on or ghostlighting going on. When Rini came along, don't make this one up, she bullied the shit out of me. Hell yeah, Deke one. Sailor Mini Moon Rini bullied the shit out of me. By the time it got to Cloverway, they made her behave more like Chibiluza, than Rini. Why all that was going on, who really even knows? And I gotta clean something. Oh, that's it. And you watched some of my Toei ones, or at least my Viz ones that Viz put into English. You saw some of the things that were being said and done. You know. Now, a lot of folks out there are going to say, oh, well, you're scathing your show. No. I'm just saying it's out there. You know. It is what it is, though. But over the years, Luna said she was sorry for what she said to me. Sailor Mars Ray was sorry for all the time she bullied me. My mother and father, well, I come to deal with the way they are, and they're sorry that they ever did the things they did to me growing up, because they thought they were helping me. And as far as that all goes, it is what it is, you know. But Usagi had it worse than I did. It goes, hey, my birthday's today. Well, happy birthday then. You know, since I still like to eat all the time, I never gave up on that. I didn't eat this yet. I can't show it right. Yeah, look at this. Ha 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 ha. Don't tell anyone. They'll get on me. Luna will get on me. Or maybe Darian Tuxedo Mac will get on me. Oh, Serena, I must stuck this shit in the way again. It says. And a lot of folks go, oh, when are you going to become young Queen Serenity of New Heaven or whatever? It has to, which one that you're dealing with. If you're dealing with the drawing show, then yeah, it's the whole earth. If you're dealing with the book or the drawing book or the funny book, it's only Dawnland. And they say all that happened in 2002 YL. But don't ask me because I don't know how it happened. We need to write something about that one day, make a one-off of how that happens. But all I know is that something big's going to happen. And at the end, God and Jesus are going, well, God's going to have Jesus come back. And then me and Darian are going to be oathed in by Jesus as the new king and queen of New Heaven, while lording in the behalf of God and Jesus. I don't know when that's going to happen. Don't ask me. It happens in 2002 and 2002 YL, so by now that's when it happened. So whatever big thing happened, it happened sometime after Sailor Stars, which if you go by the 4-5 followings. But then the sagas and tales that I've been in, it's been building up to that. It said, I have high hope you hopped on the chat. Well, you're welcome, it said. It says, well, one thing that I can't do on my live stream that other folks can do is I don't have an over chat. But the only way you get over talk is if you're a YouTube mate, and I don't want to get into that. So, all right. Now I'm going to start talking about ongoing Sailor Moon dolls that I still need, but I know I'm never going to get. First off, I got to get, well, this is the Squeeze dolls. Got to get the Squeeze dolls of Sailor Star Fighter and Sailor Star Maker. Got to get Anna. Got to get, I don't know, the other Squeeze dolls, I guess, of Young Queen Serenity and King Endymion. Who else? Got to get the four witches, or 5 witches, or 4 witches, because they all made their Squeeze dolls. Squeeze dolls, some other folks. When it comes to the Bandai Earn ones, I got to get Diamond. I got to get Emerald. I don't know. It's still an ongoing thing. And I do might have to get, on that. But I was going to put them on the list at one time. I was. And I most likely probably will one of these days put those on the list. Now, a lot of folks might wonder, what about up-to-date offshoots of the ones you already have? Well, some folks like to make a big deal, out of, either how Irwin or Bandai made the dolls back in the day. So whoever one you have is the one you have. And I'm happy with that. You know. Oh, passing wind. Well, thank you. Good to know that, though. Oh. Well, now somebody else wants to wonder. Well, just there. Well, no, I had to. Okay, it is what it is. So a lot of folks might ask me, "Oh, what is the sailor folders take? The sailor fighters or the sailor keepers take on the might keepers?" Well, we had one round over with them. I think around 2011 YL, when we all teamed up together to take on Queen Beryl, Lord Zed, and Rita Repulsa, and Goldar and Scorpina, which there's a whole yesteryear about this whole thing. Now, some folks might, I'm losing everyone now. I had at least 5 or 6 followers. Now it's down to 1. And it is what it is. You had no help over that. So, a lot of folks wonder, why we never had no round over with them? One, we're a drawing show and they're a live show. So that's also the answer you're asking things why there's no round over between them, between us. Yes, I am truly happy that the Might Keepers have been around for 30 years. I am happy for that. We've been around for 31 years. And I know some folks like to bring up other shows that came around long before us. Oh, Overteam or Overshift, which the Might Keepers were all fostered from and borrowed from in some ways. Other folks like to bring up the tween years shifted fighter ground crawlers, more like water crawlers, and saying that they were old. Well, yes, those two shows did happen before my show or the Might Keepers, but it doesn't mean that doesn't mean that we're not. That doesn't mean there's always going to be some show, film, or play, or drawing show or drawing film that's been around before yours. So being around for 30 years or 31 years is a big deal. Only at the end of the day, a lot of folks always wonder, and this seems to be like way up there. They're like, oh, give me the background on how you can. It said, well, give me the background on something. I don't know. Sorry for that burp again. So everyone will be like, all right. So everybody always wants to know all these things about me. Like how long am I going to keep on doing this YouTube fairway? For years. Next month is going to make 10 years that Sailor Moon for Life has been around for 10 years. Yeah. So been around for 10 years. So all of those haters and trolls out there that did the hacking and the fake flagging of all the other former Sailor Moon fairways over the years, well, if they only knew now what they knew back then, they knew that wouldn't work. So, yeah, they lost. So next month's going to be 10 years. 10 years of, uploads and lives, and 10 years of all kinds of stuff. It said, cool. Well, it looks like I started out with 6 watchers or onlookers or seers, and now I have down to 3. And now I got 4. Ha ha ha. Ooh. All right. So tell me, anyone, which one out of all the so tell me, did you like Deke or Cloverway, or was it Toei, or was it Viz, or was it Renaissance Atlantic Entertainment? When it came to Sailor Moon, what was it? New Birth, West Sea Glee? And a mistake that almost everyone in the Sailor Moon followership makes, not some, not all, but some do, is they'll go out and they'll be under the belief that everything we're offshooting from came from the Toei world or the Viz world, when it came from the Deke and the Cloverway world. Why? Because either A, they didn't never seen a Deke or Cloverway Sailor Moon, or B, if they did, they liked the Viz one, and that's the one that they see everything from. And it really is, yeah. And back in the day, if I overlooked the bullying and the trolling and the shaming and the guilting that was unneeded, you would have some folks in the Sailor Moon followership, not all, but some, that would say, you're not a true Sailor Moon follower if you like the Deke and Cloverway Sailor Moon. Yeah. I never understood why some folks would say that. I don't know where they got that fodder belief from, but there wasn't any truth to back it up. And then these same folks are the same folks that would bitch about names being shifted, the show playing, stead names and strike names being shifted. Oh, the unstraight being shifted, which I don't really think they were shifted that much. Free following, the free sagas becoming one. Some fighting shifted out. Dirty words shifted out, which I didn't really see too much of that when I watched the Viz one, to be honest with you. Yeah, there was some fighting that was going on that was cleaned out. All right. And bitching about a whole bunch of other things, about how this was clean, this was cut out, this was put in, that was taken out. Then bitched about Sailor Says. Hey, don't guilt me for that. A lot of drawing shows were doing that from the 9 between 80s YL into the 9 between 90 YLs. So you can't behave as if I was the only one doing it. Jim did it, G.I. Joe did it, Inspector Gadget did it, Popeye did it, Mario did it too. Yeah, he kind of did it too. Sonic did it too. So yeah. And you see at the time the FCC had this oversight that made it that certain spans of the day had to be set aside for learning. If you weren't some folk work like PBS, or at least PBS Kids will say, or WQED, if you weren't a folk work like that, then you had to put some kind of learning in your shows. So yeah, that was why. The oversight was dropped years later, but at the time it was a thing. So that's why a lot of drawing shows and live shows even had to have that too. Take it as you want, it said. So anyway, Oh, I gotta take a shit. I'll be right back. I can't put a live stream on still. So call me Meatball Head if you want. My doggies. All right. It was good. Well, thank you all for sticking with me. I had to take a shit sadly, and you can't put a live stream on still. I don't care what you say, you can't. You know. So anyway, that's also so you see all my friends back there, my fellow sailor fighters, my friends, my foes, my former foes, whatever. You know. And now I know some folks are gonna be like, "Oh, you're welcome." Some folks are gonna be like, "Oh, why it says back, folks?" Well, where did you go? Yeah. All right. Some folks are like, "Oh, shit, I gotta clean my these off now." Well, now it's time. I gotta bring up the thing I said earlier, but I don't think anybody was on at the time. Sometimes I feel like, or at least sometimes Dwayne feels like, that he is, the black sheep of the Sailor Moon followership. Why? Because he doesn't think, or at least doesn't behave, or at least does his take on Sailor Moon isn't the same as everyone else's take. And need be, he didn't get into Sailor Moon until 2008 YL. And some folks have been Sailor Moon followers since between 95 YL. You know? And that might be the grounds to why, and true, Dwayne doesn't got every single doll ever made, or every book ever written and forlayed, every drawing film ever drawn and streamed or broadcasted, and hasn't got every single, hasn't got every single shirt ever made, but it doesn't make him any less a Sailor Moon fan or anyone else. But he feels that way, And I guess other folks in the Sailor Moon followership feel the same way too. That they feel they might be the black sheep of the Sailor Moon followership. While Dwayne mostly feels that way since he likes the Deacon Cloverway offshoot of Sailor Moon. And a lot of folks out there hate it. They bitch and ran against it. And so that might be why he feels that way. Now, we all know it's in his head, and there isn't any truth to back it up. And somehow, some way, out of all this, some way, all these folks on this live stream really go against that belief. But you see at the end of the day why he would believe that. So we got Sailor Moon back for how long? Who knows? Now, I tell you the truth, I don't know how Sailor Moon seeked me. I guess I seeked at him. That may have been it. It goes, "Oh, keep up the great films. You want to be one of my overseers? All right, I'll give you that." Well, thank you for that. I just made someone else my shout-out box overseer. I gave that to Sailor Moon. Ha ha ha. I just made myself my own shout-out box overseer. Isn't that funny? It's like, hey, folks, Sailor Moon, Serena just made Sailor Moon Usagi an overseer of a shout-out box. Oh, what a meatball head. You just made yourself. It said cool. Now, anyway, I wonder if you might say to yourself, oh, why I don't always do that. Anyone else want to be an overseer of my shout out box? Well, I don't know what he or she thinks about it. I don't know what Brandon thinks when he learns about it. It's going to be so funny. You're like, oh, I don't know. All right, I guess I'll do that. There's two settings. There's a standard setting and there's the over setting. So at least the first two don't do anything. At least the other one will. But most likely I'll probably end up seeing it long before they do. So me and Darian, or Tuxedo Mask, or whatever, or Evening Code Hide, or King Endymion, or King Darian, or King Endymion, or what we're going to say, that Eldoling Darian, or Eldoling Endymion. So we got to Effelenberg. Haha. I know. So, does everybody know that one time in Deke, there's been a two following when we're finding the Black Moonkin, and Rainey has this Curie gathering at her learn. So it's me, Darian, and she wanted to get Ray later on in this. So we didn't. So I don't know if it was Aldi's or Giant Eagle, or it was Shop and Save or Save-A-Lot or whatever shop it was. But the Dead Moon, no, the Dead Moon Clan, ha ha ha, that they took the stead over because it was supposed to be some kind of stead in the upcoming. If they took it over, then they weakened down the stronghold in the upcoming. So it's making all the food look bad. And I was like, geez, we're not enough in here, Darian said. I was like, that's weird. All the food's supposed to be good. He's like, yeah, well, forget their name. We're going to get our food somewhere else. Yeah. And let's not forget about, yeah. Well, you're welcome. I guess you must be a newcomer to my live stream. So we went there today, and what we got was Stormy and Pepsi strength free. Not just strength on Fleethurst or strength on the other strength, but the strength that gives you strength. Because I got a hard time getting to sleep these days since 2021. Wow. I used to always be sleeping all the time. Sleep in, have naps, bullshit. Now I can't get to sleep anymore if that help. Yeah. It says, hey, that's what it was said. So, anyway, I was going to show you, someone else was going to be on this live stream. I had to do some digging before I bring it to an end. Where's it at? Well, I guess I'm going to put some of these on the ground just so I can bring that one thing I've been looking for. Oh, there it is. There it is. Well, oh, I used to do a show a long time ago. There used to be team films, your own films. Then there used to be, and one of them back in the day, was the Sailor Moon show. It was probably like some kind of talk show, but then I brought other folks on. Where are we at here? Too small. All right, yeah, folks. This is I do every once in a while. All right, Sailor Moon. Well, Serena, when are you going to put me on here? Yeah, everyone, this is the Pop Good Doer Luna. All right? Keep in mind, this is the only Luna I ever had. Before that, he took some cat toy that was black and put a crescent moon on it and said, there you go. It was good enough. Are you blue? Are you black? Or what? I don't know. Because I know in the drawing show I was black. In the live drawing show, I was a squeeze doll, which was blue. In the Tone Makers one, I was white. Yeah, well, Luna, everyone wonders why do you talk the way you talk? Hey, Joe Flapper made me talk that way in my Deacon Cloverway one. And she was from the 4-1's kingdom or England, whatever you want to call it. The before she came to the settled land. So forgive me if she made me talk like Mary Poppins. You know? Or Alfred Hayes from WWE, or William Regal from WWE. Don't even go there. Yeah. You know, Luna, you're going to shame me, aren't you? No, I'm not going to shame me. You going to say you're going to give me. You gave me that sand in my sandbox. I did. The one where when you take a shit, no, when you take a piss, it clumps up. Makes it smooth enough to clean. Yeah. You keep up with that. Yeah, I do. And it says, all right. So, like a long time ago, we used to do, showings on look, yielded for by the following. And I was doing a take on how it would be for the show. And there was always about 3 ones I could have offshooted from. I mean, yeah, there was the Alfred Hayes one, there was the Stan Lane one, the Todd Pettengill one, there was the William Regal one, which was whatever. Yeah. Anyway, Luna, the way I want to look at it is that you should be thankful I brought you on the show. What? Why should I be thankful? You brought me on the show for? Because I could not brought you on the show. Yeah, you didn't give me the good cat food I wanted. It was worth too much. Oh, yeah, that's right. Because when you become young Queen Serenity of New Heaven, you'll give me all the good shit. Even then, I wasn't going to blow everything, to give you the good cat food. I give it a good kind of cat food, don't I? Yeah. All right, yeah, look, I gotta go now, Serena. Well, look, Luna, I'm sorry. Well, I just want to say that I'm sorry for being hard on you all those years. About the bullying and the shaming. It's all right, Luna, I forgive you. It's all right. Yeah. All right, I guess we'll bring this live stream to an end, but before we do, I'm going to have to spoof something here. No, I don't have any sheep to do it. So you're going to have to forgive me if I don't have any, have to forgive me for it, but let's see what I can do. Oh, I know what I can do. I know what I'm going to do. Hold on. I know how I can pull this off. Oh, no. I know how to pull it off. Here we go. Showings on look yielded for by the following. If you want good writing tools, to write just as good as Vicks, then you get yourself Papermate or Sheetmate. And don't let Vic tell you that they don't write good as they do. Or buy Vicks pens. Fight for your right to write. We last longer than Sheetmates or the Dollar Tree ones. If you have a hard time getting to sleep, seek these Racanol Walmart sleep aids. They work just as good as the other well-named known sleep help out there. Well, I gotta put Luna back now. All right. All right. It said, all right, everyone. If you like this YouTube live stream, then thank you. All right. That's all the time I got now, folks. Sorry for that burp. Thank you for watching my YouTube live stream. Follow me over here at Sailor Moon for Life. Watch the other film I made earlier today. Wow. The film that Sailor Pluto and Sailor Saturn made earlier today. And I'll see you later. Goodbye.